Coming up, a woman in Whitley County was found dead last week, and her boyfriend is the suspect in the murder case. He has been on the run ever since. And the family of Andy Smith, who died in a kayaking accident last week, said their final goodbyes Wednesday. Plus, in his first public remarks in over 2 years, Special Counsel Robert Mueller made a public statement about the findings of his investigation.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:32 on Thursday, May the 30th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, yesterday it got serious in a real quick hurry. I was leaving Prestonsburg right as it was all coming in, and it was a scene to behold. Brandon, we are expected to see much more or some more of that today in roughly the same area of Eastern Kentucky that we saw it yesterday. People are asking, what time is it going to roll in?
Exactly, and we'll talk more about that in detail in a few minutes, but let's get you some current conditions as we head out the door this morning. We start at Pikeville at the Pikeville Medical Center camera. Some fog up that way, so be careful of that as you head through the first part of your day. We come back over to satellite and radar for the last 6 hours, and you can see not a whole lot of action just yet. Go to live pinpoint Doppler radar. A few clouds, but we see some rain trying to fire near Louisville this morning. We'll keep you posted on that. Temperatures in the 60s right now and heading for about the 80-degree mark a little bit later on. We'll talk about the app forecast here real quick. Looks like sun and clouds for much of the day until we get into the afternoon hours, and we'll get up to 84 later on. I'll talk more about the forecast in just a few minutes.
All righty, Brandon, looking good. Well, a southeastern Kentucky community remains on edge as a murder suspect is still on the run. We have learned that the man they are looking for, 38-year-old Nicholas Rucker, went to prison 20 years ago for the death of his own infant son. Rucker has been in and out of jail for other crimes since then. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more.
Uneasiness over a convicted killer running loose somewhere in Corbin.
I'm worried to death, yes. I am worried to death. We all stay in contact on the phone.
The concern is over 38-year-old Nicholas Rucker, a man police say is armed and dangerous because he's accused of killing his girlfriend, Vicki Connor. Neighbors say they saw him running out of his Woodbine home, claiming Connor's death was a suicide, but he's been spotted twice since then.
However, the best I can tell, law enforcement's doing a fabulous job. He's just managed to slip through the cracks a couple of times, and unfortunately, he's got into the neighborhoods here around the area.
Nicholas Rucker had been out of prison 8 years when this latest crime happened. He was charged with killing his own 3-month-old son in 1998. Nicholas Rucker was sentenced to 20 years in prison from that 1998 murder. He was not paroled, but after 13 years, he was released after completing some good behavior and educational programs.
It is a fear, especially when we know that he's already killed a baby.
So much fear that Oak Grove Elementary canceled all outdoor activities Wednesday. Residents say they're taking measures to protect themselves.
We all have guns, and we're not afraid to use them, trust me.
In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Police say the last time someone saw Rucker, he was not wearing a shirt or shoes. Well, a man involved in a police chase is still on the run this morning. Troopers say the suspect was leaving a drug house in Laurel County in a stolen car. He sped into Jackson County, where he eventually crashed in the Mill Creek area, but he still managed to get away. Troopers say they have a good idea of who they are looking for, but have not told us the man's name. The family of Andy Smith, the kayaker who died last week in Pike County, said their final goodbyes Wednesday. Smith's family and friends joined together at Community Funeral Home in Zebulon to give him a military rights funeral. Members of the family say there was an outpouring of support over the last week. They say it is almost like Andy had a hand in bringing everyone together.
I think it's a true compliment to Andy and the person that he was, that it showed how people can come together and work together.
The family says they are grateful for the support of the community. Meanwhile, authorities in Utah find the remains of a body near the house of a missing 5-year-old. Elizabeth Shelley went missing over the weekend, and a relative of hers was quickly deemed a suspect. Her uncle, Alex Whipple, is facing numerous charges, including 1 count of aggravated murder, child kidnapping, desecration of a body, and 2 counts of obstruction of justice. The police chief said a deal was made between Whipple and authorities. The death penalty would be taken off the table in exchange for information that led to the body. The medical examiner's office still must make an official identification of the remains. In Mexico, at least 21 people are dead and 30 are hospitalized after a bus crashed on the Puebla-Veracruz highway. Local authorities say the bus was carrying pilgrims who were returning from their visit to the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico City. 2 other vehicles and a trailer truck were also involved in the accident that caused the bus to catch fire and burn. An eastern Kentucky man is in the hospital following a coal mining accident. Officials tell us a wall collapse injured 49-year-old Matt North last week at the Rex Coal Company near Cumberland. North was rushed to Johnson City Medical Center. State officials are trying to determine what exactly happened. Family members tell us North is still in ICU on life support. Well, this week marks the beginning of the end for the chemical weapons stockpile in central Kentucky. State and national leaders commemorated the start of the process to destroy more than 500 tons of chemical weapons stored at the Bluegrass Army Depot in Richmond. During the next few years, workers will load mustard gas, sarin, and VX into specially sealed trucks before taking them to a new facility to be destroyed. The process is scheduled to be finished by 2023. Interstate 75 in Rockcastle County is finally back open. A fiery crash had drivers at a standstill for hours. Kentucky State Police say a semi hauling pigs ran off the road near the Mount Vernon exit. Though several pigs died, the driver is okay. Police did not know what caused the crash. Well, now it was not all bad for drivers stuck in that traffic. They were able to cool off while stuck on the interstate. A viewer sent us these pictures of a Kona ice truck serving snow cones to drivers. Well, special counsel Robert Mueller made a special public statement Wednesday offering more insight into the findings of his investigation into Russia's election meddling. In his first public remarks in more than 2 years, Mueller emphasized that he had not exonerated President Trump of obstructing justice. His words were in contrast to the White House's repeated claims that the president had been fully cleared of any wrongdoing. Mueller cited the Justice Department policy that says a sitting chief executive cannot be indicted.
Charging the president with a crime was therefore not an option we could consider.
Many congressional Democrats had a different take on Mueller's statement. In a tweet, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren called it an impeachment referral. Mueller said he intends his statements to be the last time he would speak publicly about the investigation, adding that he would not have anything to add if he were compelled to testify before Congress. Construction on the first new miles of a border wall under the Trump administration is set for August. Customs and Border Protection awarded a $43 million contract for the project this week. It will cover 3 miles of a barrier on federal land in the Rio Grande Valley area of Texas. The Trump administration has not yet constructed any new miles of barrier where there was previously no fence or wall. Louisiana is the 6th state this year to pass a heartbeat abortion bill, while Missouri could close its last remaining abortion clinic later this week. If it closes, Missouri would be the first state with no abortion clinic since the 1973 Supreme Court Roe v. Wade ruling, which legalized abortion. Well, yesterday was an hour-by-hour day for the fate of the Southeastern Kentucky Medical Center. Patients at the hospital say signs around the hospital during their visit worried them on Wednesday. One patient says that nurses drawing their blood were saying that not being paid is a constant issue for workers. Patients added that doctors' offices on the 2nd floor even have signs that say if the hospital closes, they will stay open for patients to continue being treated.
I've come here. That's where I'm coming back in a week if it's still open. I hope it is.
Officials with the city of Pineville and the hospital say talks are leading them in positive directions. However, we were informed that the number of active staff was reduced to help with multiplying debts in payroll and the hospital. Well, dozens of people packed Lexington's 21C Hotel last night to watch a new documentary that highlighted the ongoing water crisis in Martin County. The 20-minute video focuses on bad pipes, dirty water, and health concerns that have plagued parts of eastern Kentucky. This issue goes back almost 20 years when a large coal slurry spill hammered the county's water system. Organizers hope the event would raise about $2,000 for outreach programs in Martin County.
We are representing the Martin County concerned citizens and fighting against any additional rate increases and trying to form a pathway forward where the water system can get fixed, but it doesn't require additional money from the ratepayers because they're already paying too much.
Organizers say the ballpark figure to fix the water crisis is about $13 million. The time is 6:42 on this Thursday. Brandon's over at the weather wall to give you an update on this severe weather alert day. Brandon?
So far, so good, Will. But again, I think we're going to see some actions coming into play this afternoon. Live pinpoint Doppler radar nice and quiet at the moment. But we're really hoping we see some of those storms fire up a little earlier, because the earlier they fire, the less energy that they'll have to work with when it actually starts to get warmer this afternoon. Looking out to the west, you see some of those showers and storms back out toward Paducah, Evansville, Carbondale, Illinois, but not too much going on in our area just yet. Temperatures in the 60s area wide, from the low 60s to the upper 60s depending on where you are. The out the door forecast features, again, those chances for showers and storms. Some of those could be on the stronger side this afternoon as temperatures top out right around 84 later today. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, we will have stories trending on WYMT.com next. As always, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning.